Alright, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about Aston Martin, probably the biggest surprise of the 2023 Formula One season. And to start, I'm going to go through each race that we've had so far and talk about their race results. So for Alonso, he finishes third at the opening Bahrain Grand Prix of the season. Stroll finishes sixth coming off of that wrist injury and no testing as well, yes. The second race of the season, Alonso, being Mr. Consistent, finishes third again, where Stroll retires with a mechanical DNF. Third race of the season, Australia, again, Magic Alonso finishes third, and Stroll finishes fourth. A result that probably was probably quite a bit better than what he expected to finish, given all the chaos and DNFs happening around him. Azerbaijan Grand Prix, probably the worst race of the season for Aston Martin so far. They had quite a few DRS issues, especially in qualifying, and that set them back in the sprint particularly. So in the sprint, Alonso finished 6th and Stroll finished 8th, whereas in the main Grand Prix, Alonso finished 4th and Stroll finished 7th. Last race in Miami, Alonso deciding that one race was one too many races without a podium. He finishes 3rd again, and Stroll finishes in 12th. The first finish for an Aston Martin outside of the points this season. And really, I think for that race, I know Aston Martin went on a very aggressive strategy in Q1, tried to qualify in Q1 on used tires, and it wasn't good enough for Stroll because he does still tend to struggle in qualifying against Alonso. So now let's look at the head-to-head between Alonso and Stroll, and quite frankly, it's not even close. Points 75 to 27 for Alonso. Race head-to-head 4-0 for Alonso. Qualifying head-to-head 5-0 for Alonso. And the average qualifying gap is 0.308 seconds, so about 0.3 of a second, so not great there either. Now, I think just to put that into context, the only driver who has not out-qualified his teammate so far this year is Albon and Sargent. So basically, he's the only one who hasn't out-qualified his teammate. And he's also the only one who hasn't out-raced his teammate, along with Nico Hülkenberg, which is a bit of an odd one. But that being said, I think, you know, in every single metric, Alonso has done much better than Stroll to start this year. And I think that plays out in my average power rankings as well. Alonso has been on average 1.6, and Stroll has been on average 11th. So a massive gap there between the two of them. Now let's look at the constructors for Aston Martin. So in points, it's not even close. And if you've been watching my previous videos, you'll notice I've been talking about how almost every other team has lost points, quite a few points, especially those in the lower midfield, compared to this year. And you must wonder, where did they all go? Well, the simple answer is Aston Martin. 2022, they had 6 points after 5 races. This year, after 5 races, they have 102. That's the biggest increase by any team on the board. I think even including the team that I'm yet to talk about, who had a very big gap as well. Gap to pole, I think, was a massive improvement. Last year, after 5 races, they were 2.06 seconds off pole on average. And this year, after 5 races, they're 0.582 seconds off. And I think even going from Vettel to Alonso, I don't think there's a massive difference. Maybe a little bit of an improvement in qualifying form there, just looking at the head-to-heads between Alonso, Stroll, and Stroll, Vettel. But really, I think this year's car is a massive improvement over last year's car, and I think everyone can see that. And, you know, I think for them, it's been an absolute miracle, an absolute dream. I think for them, of course, the goal is going to be finishing 2nd in the Constructors' Championship, which I think is doable. Stroll's going to have to be fantastic, quite frankly, for the rest of the season for that to happen. Otherwise, they're going to need Ferrari and Mercedes to basically take each other out and basically not consistently be that next best team. Because I think if Aston can consistently be 2nd, but Ferrari and Mercedes are constantly trading 3rd and 4th, you know, then maybe they have a chance. But I think, you know, they're going to have really good reliability. They're going to have to be the 2nd best team, and Stroll's going to have to be, he's going to have to pull his own weight, unfortunately. So I think that's all for Aston Martin. So we have one video left for these previews, and that's, of course, is Red Bull, looking at each team through the quarter mark of the season. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.